So, for those of you who have followed me for a while, you will know that one of my key messages is that as a human design projector, it's really important for you to go out there and be visible, highly visible. And the reason for that is that your strategy as a human design projector is to wait to be invited. And very often it can feel really disempowering to learn that, because I'm sure you've got shit to do, right? You've got shit to do, and how you're going to even run your business and do what you want to do if you're waiting around to be invited. Well, a big part of that is being seen, okay? And part of that being seen, even though it's a lot more nuanced, but part of that being seen is physically showing up. But there is a big difference between being visible and being seen. And that's what I really want to share with you today. So, for those of you who have never seen me before, my name is Abigail Rebecca. I am a human design visibility mentor. I empower women to be iconic. So what I mean about iconic is standing out from the crowd, making a mark, being unforgettable. How do you make an unforgettable impact wherever you go? I am also a human design projector. I am a 4/6 energy projector with emotional inner authority. And I really, really love working with projectors, which is why most of my content is about human design projectors. And a lot of it is about how you can be more visible, how we can be more visible as human design projectors. So let's focus on you. You're a human design projector. In order for people to invite you in, it's important that you're visible. What do I mean by that? Well, what's your definition of visibility? You know, with some of my clients that come and work with me, just walking into a room and feeling confident is them being more visible. Or some women is like they want to speak on big stages, and you know, for them being visible is being in a room full of like 500, 1,000 plus people. It's really understanding what your definition of visibility is. But certainly, without a doubt, if you're more visible in person events, in communities, on social media, on stages, on podcasts, on radio shows, all of that will help you to be more visible. And if there's anything that you feel is standing in your path at the moment that is stopping you from going out and being more visible, imposter syndrome, worried about being judged, worried about being criticized, worried about failure, worried about not being taken seriously, I would strongly recommend that you do the work in order to clear those blocks, because it is very important for us as human design projectors to go out there and be visible so we can be invited into things. Why? Because we play a very important role in this society. We play a very important role in the new paradigm, in the Aquarian age. We've moved away from the Piscean age where, there was a leader that everyone followed and everyone else was disempowered, and there were hierarchical and patriarchal structures and everyone had a place. And we're now moving into this Aquarian age which is about information sharing, and it's about coming together with love and community. Now, you might not feel like that at the moment, depending on where you live in the world and what your society is like. But we are in the death throes. Believe you me, we're in the death throes of this old paradigm. And, in order to slay the dragon, the belly needs to be exposed, right? And the dragon's belly is definitely being exposed as we speak. So for human design projectors, in order for us to be able to take this important role within society and guide and use our sage insights, for you to be able to be seen as a wise sage and invited in to guide others, it's important for you to be visible. So that's without saying. But then going out and being visible with purpose. We can all show up. I mean, I could literally walk down the street and be highly visible. Everyone would see me. I'd put something on outrageous, right? So I can go and be like an attention-seeking projector. Look at me, and be seen. But actually, I mean, I digress. I'm just joking there. Of course, I wouldn't do that. But let's look at it on the context of social media, for example. So I could go out there on social media and I could be very visible. I could record reels and do all of that. But actually, what is the purpose behind it? So as you go out and you are visible, it's about being visible with purpose. What is your why? What are your values? Why do you want to make a difference in this world? Who are the people that you are attracting in? Who are the people that you want to guide? So this is being visible with intention. It's being very, very clear about your messaging and very specific about who you want to invite in. So this isn't just about being visible. This is about really having your messaging fine-tuned. So that is also very important for us as projectors. And this is also what it really means to be seen. So there's a difference between visibility, being visible, and then there's a difference being seen, people seeing us and recognizing us. And this is the third thing that I wanted to share with you about visibility and about being seen. There is I was speaking to someone today, actually. I was being interviewed on a podcast. No, I wasn't being interviewed on a podcast. I have just been interviewed on a podcast. I was speaking with a client this morning. I did a coaching session with someone this morning. And I said to her that the majority of projectors that I meet carry some kind of wound from childhood. Because there is this inherent need within us as projectors to be seen. We want to be seen, we want to be valued, we want to be recognized. Now, if you think about yourself as a child, with that desire to be seen and recognized, whether it's by your parents, by your siblings, by teachers, by, friends of the family, whatever, other peers, like other children, if you weren't recognized or seen or appreciated, how did that make you feel? I hear so many stories from projectors who really carry these stories from childhood and these upsets from childhood where they weren't noticed, they weren't seen by others, because we're not designed to be seen by everyone as human design projectors. Not everyone will see us, not everyone will value us, not everyone will notice us. We can get our heads around that as adults, but when we're children, it's really difficult to do that, right? Because you desperately want to be seen. And if you're not being seen and you're not being recognized, that is ultimate rejection as a child. When that happens to you as a child, you can carry that into adulthood. And that can be traumatic for you as an adult. That can also be a block to your visibility, that, I'm not going to go out there and be visible because no one's going to see me. I feel invisible. I remember I worked with someone a few years ago, an amazing woman. And she was like, I feel invisible. The whole of my adult life, I felt invisible. And then when she did the work and she found out more about her human design, and she understood that as a human design projector, not everyone would see her, not everyone would recognize her. And then, most importantly, she learnt how to be seen as a projector. Then it was like life-changing for her. And she talks about it in her testimonial. It was life-changing for her. What was the first step in that life-changing experience for her? It was when she learned to see herself, to recognize herself, to value herself first. There's a quote that I always use: when you value yourself, the whole world values you. She started to value herself. She started to recognize herself. She started to see herself. So guess what? It didn't matter if other people didn't value her. It didn't matter, because she valued herself. She loved herself. She valued herself. She saw herself first. And then that filled her with deep love and confidence. So then the way that when she went out and she was visible, she showed up in a different way. She showed up truly empowered, absolutely in love with herself, full of confidence, and really, really authentic. Not trying too hard, just going out and being like, this is me. Take it or leave it. And guess what? That's when people started to really be attracted to her. She started to amplify people in, or she started to amplify and then magnetize people in, because she saw her value first. And that is what I mean about really being seen as a projector. The difference between going out there and being visible, rah, 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 and actually being valued. The value comes from you first. And then once you value yourself, others will value you. So I want to make an invitation to you right now. If you are feeling any resistance to showing up and being visible and being seen, I want to invite you to look at yourself first. Do you value yourself? Do you like yourself? Do you admire yourself? Do you recognize yourself? Because that is the very first step within this beautiful journey to empowerment and freedom and to becoming an iconic woman. If anything has resonated in what I've shared with you today, you can always reach out to me by email, hello@abigailrebecca.com. I'm the Visibility Goddess on all social media channels, so you can contact me there. And take a look at my website, abigailrebecca.com. There's lots of free resources and tools on there. And also, I come on and I share a video with you every week. So you can always come and like and subscribe to my channel. Ask me any questions below. I always come on and check responses and answer any questions. And I'd really love to know from you how you intend to be more visible and show up as an empowered, iconic woman this year. I'd love to know in the comments below. Please share with me. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all soon.